So who the would buy a house in Texas right now? Like, seriously, prices are falling, inventory is through the roof, and every headline you run into is screaming crash, crisis, collapse. And I mean, even I've been guilty of partaking in some of that. So the question is, like, who's buying houses in Texas right now? If everything's crashing, who's actually buying? Well, got a few answers for you, but the main answer is people that can afford it. So over the last month, there were 30,000 homes that sold in Texas. I mean, I think houses are always going to sell, right? You got divorce, you got death, you got diapers, and you got diplomas and degrees, right? So life circumstances. But that's 30,000 transactions in a month. Not to mention, home builders are still building like crazy and selling like crazy. I had a really great summer for sales. And then investors, right? So I get calls every day from investors throwing out lowball offers on the listings that I have. And then everybody's investment granddaddy, Warren Buffett, he dropped about $1 billion on two of the biggest home builders in America, Lennar and D.R. Horton. And you want to know what their biggest market is? Texas. So who's buying houses? It's the people that can afford it and the people that are taking advantage of the current market conditions. It's not us YouTube gurus. It's not the crash bros. It's you knowing your own numbers. And so why are those people buying? Let's break it down. So let's talk about owning versus affording. Jasprit Singh, and I probably messed up his name, he had such a profound quote, but he said that you have to look at your house as a liability until it becomes an asset. Houses are expensive and they require a lot of money for upkeep. So we are sold this dream of, I'm buying the biggest asset of my life when you're buying the home that you're in, but it is actually very much a liability until it becomes an asset and starts giving you money. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't buy it. It does mean that if you cannot afford it, you should not buy it. So how do you know if you can afford it? That's up to you to determine. And I'm not going to sit here and give you these unrealistic money goals to shoot for. It's not the purpose of this channel. So I would say forget the fact that you have to have 20% down and forget the TikTok hacks and crap that you see. You save what makes sense for you and you buy what makes sense for you. There's a couple things that you should have for sure. You need to have some savings. Absolutely. And you need to have a maintenance fund because these houses require more money as you live in them. Buying a house is expensive, but you know what is also expensive? Renting. And I would guarantee you for every homeowner horror story that you find online, there are probably 2 renter horror stories online as well, with people not being happy with their property manager or with their landlord. So yes, your house is a liability until it builds enough equity to actually become an asset. Right now is one of those rare times in history where it is far cheaper to rent a home in Texas than it is to buy one. Like, let's take Austin, for example. The average mortgage for Austin homeowners is about $2,700 a month. That's everything included. While renting, that's about $1,700 a month. It's almost $1,000 gap. While admittedly that is wild and crazy, that is the reality of it. And so owning a home has become much more of a luxury situation than it ever has been. And people who have the luxury of being able to afford a house right now are buying them. Does that mean that you should not rent? No. But it also doesn't mean you shouldn't buy. You should do what's right for you. So I was sitting with a client the other day, first time homeowner. We were having coffee and we were talking through the realities of owning a home. And it was really just now hitting her the lifestyle change that would come with this, the amount of extra money that's going to need to be spent and save. The fact that now her daughter has to get a car and her daughter now has to drive 30 minutes to get to the school that she's going to, whereas before she could take public transit. It was hitting her just how stressful and expensive this process is. And as she was weighing all of that, she asked me a question. The house that we're buying for her, it's a short sale. And the other houses that meet the price criteria and the location criteria, right, that she needed, those houses were also short sales. And she looked at me and asked, are we at the beginning of a crash? Like, does this have a domino effect? If one house is priced super low and sells for low, does that bring down the other houses? And I said, no, we're not at the beginning of a crash. I think we're right in the middle of it. And I can't promise you that the house you buy today will be able to sell for the same thing that you bought it for next year. Odds are that the home value is going to go down over the next year. But what I can promise you is if you hold on to it for the next 5 to 10 years, you will have some equity, no matter what the market does. I think we are at a place where prices are way lower than they have been. Will they go down even further? They could. How far? Nobody knows. And if they did know, they would be probably the richest person in the world, right? Everything comes with risk. And with those facts and that information, I asked her if she still wants to buy a house and why. She paused, thought about it, and she said, yeah, I still want to buy a house because I want to leave this house to my daughter. I don't want to sell it next year. I don't want to sell it in 5 years. I want to start building that equity for the future. And I want a place for my son to bring my new grandson to where everybody can stay in the same space. And maybe I can pass this on to my daughter and she can use it as a stepping stone in her life. So yeah, I want this house, and that's why. And that's who should be buying houses in Texas right now. It's people who want their own space. It's people who were priced out a few years ago because prices were just disrespectful. People who are planting roots for the long term. There's been a few times in history where home prices have dropped. And each time, this kind of goes for everything else that drops, prices have recovered and went higher. It is the nature of all markets. And I think with that, it's just as important to talk about who should not buy. If you cannot afford it, you should not buy. You should not buy a house that puts you below the standard of living that feels best for you. You should not buy a house if it's going to suck up all of your money. And at the end of the month, you're going to have too much month at the end of your money. You should not buy a house. Right now, you also should not buy a house in Texas, especially if you're going to be leaving sometime soon, or if you are not as secure in your job position right now. This next year could probably be really, really rocky for anybody that needs to sell it. And so prices are going down. I had one person reach out to me via email. They're moving to the Austin area and they are weighing whether they should rent or buy. And they likened buying a home right now in the Austin area to catching a falling knife. Ouch. That person, if they are worried about prices falling to a place where they will not recover, you definitely should not buy a house. Now, I've said it once and I'll say it over and over and over and over again. Time in the market beats timing the market every single time. A lot of us bought at the height. It sucks. And there's a lot of people that are selling right now and taking huge losses. It sucks. It's not the end of the world. But for those of us who are going to own our homes for a good long time, we'll be fine. Look, should you rent or should you buy is on you. Renting has freedom, but also so does home ownership. Both are valid. Pick what works for your life, but we'll be super real about it. Nationally, homeowners are paying about 38% more than renters are. Is it right? No, it's not. Is it something that you can stomach? Is it worth you paying 38% more for you to build that equity over time, for you to have the ownership over your space, for you to not have to report to somebody and have somebody come into your space and make sure that it is up to the standard that they want it? Is it worth it for you to be sure that your monthly mortgage payment is going to stay around the same thing and nobody is going to raise it up? Or nobody's going to kick you out because they want to move in their children to this investment property that they've had for the past however many years. That's got to be up to you. That's something that you should know. But right now, even despite all the noise and the craziness going on, people are still becoming homeowners for the first time and starting that legacy, starting to build that equity, and it's working for them. There are lots of success stories out there. For as many horror stories, there are definitely more success stories. So waiting for the housing market crash to finish before you buy your house is kind of like waiting for gyms to be free before you get in shape. It's just not how it works. Don't let the panic content stop you from doing what you feel is right for you. If you can afford it, if you can really afford it, and you also plan to hold it and you're gonna be planting roots, then now's still a good time. Who's buying houses right now? The same people that were buying houses 3 years ago, 10 years ago, and will be buying houses in the next 100 years. It's the people that can afford it. And yes, I'm a real estate broker. I'm biased as right? Like, you guys let me know that in the comment all the time. Don't trust any advice from a real estate agent. Yeah, don't trust any advice from the guy that sees 50 homes buy and sell every year and has a good pulse on what's going on the market. Yeah, I'm biased. Okay, but I'm also real as with every client that comes across my path. And the thing that I've been telling everybody who will listen is, if you are gonna buy a house right now, you have to be ready to hold that house for a minimum of 5 years. Really, it should probably be a minimum of 7. Don't sell it anytime soon. I want you to hold it for as long as possible. I've said this a lot. The key to winning in real estate is to buy it, hold it for as long as humanly possible, improve it, right? And then you sell it. But in the meantime, enjoy it, and it'll serve you well. That's how real estate works. So if this sounds like you, and you're thinking about buying or selling a home, and you want to make sure that it is the smartest decision for yourself and your family, link is in the description. Reach out. Most times it's me that answers the phone and does the consults, but I have an amazing team all over Texas. I'll walk you through step by step. We'll set up a game plan that works for you and your own unique situation. And then if it's a good idea, it's a good idea. If it's not, I'll tell you. If you like this video, do the thumbs up thing, all the things that YouTube likes. A couple other videos here that you might find interesting. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me here today. My name's Stephen Harris. All I do all day is help people make great decisions about the homes they want to buy. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.